Welcome back to another action figure review. In this review, we're going to be taking a look at the new Mattel Masterverse Masters of the Universe Revelations Spikor. This is the packaging that comes in. It's in pretty much a very large window box showing the figure and all the accessories. This figure does have 30 points of articulation, which is fantastic. On the back of the packaging, we do see that very nice artwork we're starting to used to see from all the offerings from Mattel's Masters of the Universe line. I do like the artwork on these packages very much, which now makes me retain my packages instead of pitching them. These are actually collector friendly. If you just cut the tape on the top, you can, put your figure back in the box inside the clamshell if you wish to do that for storage or for display or for even for resale. So let's go ahead and bring the packaging forward. And if you want to, once it's focused, you can pause and read Spikor's bio. Spikor, untouchable master of evil combat. Of all Skeletor's henchmen, none is more dangerous in close quarter combat than Spikor, the evil blacksmith with enhanced razor-sharp spiked armor fused to his body, forges weapons for the ruthless overlord. Hailing from his secret stronghold, hidden in the mountains, Spikor fights by his master's side whenever he is beckoned. It's kind of interesting that Man-at-Arms is released in this actual Wave 2 that we get these figures from. With Man-at-Arms being the inventor of a lot of the weaponry for, the good guys, and then Spikor being the weapons master, basically, for the for Skeletor's forces. So you got those two guys kind of clashing in this line, which is kind of cool. Almost wonder if that was coincidence or if that was something that Mattel had planned, but still ended up, pretty nice in my opinion. On this side, you can see some more beautiful artwork of Spikor lunging into battle. It looks great. On this side, you basically just have Spikor, untouchable master of evil combat. Here's the bottom, which also provides you for the UPC, which I found these at Walmart for like $19.96. So that's the price for. Should be paying around $20 for retail value. Now with inflation, you probably expect to pay, up to $22. I've seen that in different places now, but this is December of 2021, so you may be able to get these on sale. I've seen some He-Man figures. Skeletor was like $15 on Target, so you want to check that out if that interests you at all. And the bottom of the packaging, we just have the Masterverse. I'm sorry, the top of the packaging have the Masterverse logo. It's pretty nice. So, that being said, let's go ahead and take Spikor out the packaging and check him out. Now, if you're interested with the backdrop inside, it looks like it's a brick wall, different shades of gray, a little bit of white, just in case you're interested. Okay, here's Spikor outside the packaging. He's looking pretty cool. First thing I noticed, it doesn't have as many spikes on his armor that the original has, or the overall design of the classic character, but it still works out pretty good for this design. But he has a good bit of spikes on his head. His head sculpt's pretty spot on. Nice purple. Seems like a lot of the bad guys anymore are sporting the purple color, which is, or works out for him really well. So you can see his fangs on his face. He has like yellowish eyes. Sounds like serpent eyes. It's the side of it. Top, back. Other side. It's the top of his head. You can see he has some gray here on the collar. And then a couple of studs here in the middle. Pretty nice. We have about 6 spikes here on his chest. And then we have, 6, 9 spikes on the back. It's like his vest is removable here, if you want to take that off. For his arms, it's pretty much he has that the shade of purple with the grayish gauntlets or wristbands on his arms. We have a pinkish two-tone belt with the black fur loincloth. We have the purple pants. Then we have the black boots. Really no trim on the fur or anything, just all one color. Black boots. Then we have the bottom of his feet has peg holes for a stand. I really wish these figures came with a stand. They really did. That'd be really cool. If we pay extra $1 for the figures to get an extra for the stand, that'd be really nice. Something hopefully Mattel releases, maybe some figure stands or something. That'd be a good option, or just start adding with the characters. But then it'll leave you kind of out in the wind with without having current stands for the figures that we already have. For articulation, the head kind of goes up and down. You can see that. You slide it back and forth. You can look down on this side. If you pull it back, his chin kind of hits the collar. You got a side to side, 360 rotation. He can look up. Back to stationary. Arms on a ball joint to row 360. Yeah, they raise up about that far. There is rotation at the top of the bicep, 360. Double jointed elbows, which is fantastic. The wrists rotate 360, and they go in and out like this. So just you can see the joint right there. And they both have the same joint. So unfortunately, there's no like up and down on one hand. Waist swivel, 360. There's chest articulation also. But with this, the way this armor is, it kind of hinders it a little bit. But you can see it moving. And then there's probably a crunch. One thing about, we'll take a look at here in a second, but one of these, I'm noticing that most of these figures are the same buck, just different chest armor and head. And maybe a little bit of detailing here and there. They split about that much because of the loincloth. Go about that far out. We have thigh rotation here. There's a cut there. It's actually hitting pretty good. We have the double jointed knees. And then we have the feet that pivot down. Not too much up because of the way they're made. They will rotate 360 around, but you just got to kind of work it out, around the boot. But it's there for you if you want it. This is a very cool figure. Very much looking forward to this. I couldn't believe it came out in such, wave 2 of the series. So that's really cool to get Spikor right off the bat. Like I said, I think it's great that he came out with Man-at-Arms. Okay, for Spikor's weapon, he does come with his spiked mace. It's orange. It has some metallic to it. It's really shiny. Then we have the handle. A lot of aesthetics, a lot of sculpt work done for this weapon. And then it comes with this spike piece. Looks like you have to remove the hand and replace it with this. I'm not a big fan of this weapon. I probably won't be using it. Probably just leave it in his packaging with his accessories that we don't use, like his whatever extra set of hands you get, which is 2-fisted hands. If he wants to go one-on-one with Man-at-Arms, that'd be very cool. Have a throw down. Okay, let me go and see how well he holds his weapon. Okay, here's Spikor holding his weapons. One thing I mentioned before in the Man-at-Arms review that the hands are very, very stiff, and I'm worried about, plastic wear on the initial handle of the weapons, or even possibly on the fingers. The plastic's really hard composition. So, I mean, on the plus side, it does hold very well once you get in there. But if you're going to be taking in and out a lot, they are more than likely going to wear over time. That's just basic knowledge there. So he holds it very nicely. Very cool. It's kind of ironic that him and Man-at-Arms are both weapons manufacturers and designers, inventors. So they both have a mace. So that's kind of interesting too. Okay, so I went ahead and tried to remove his hand, which you can see here, just a peg. I didn't want to do it over the camera and break it. So, but there's the peg hole in his hand, and that's what this is for. So you would just plug this in like a hand, which is very snug. But that's how that looks. And then it swivels 360, obviously, too. This thing doesn't really do anything. It's just a solid piece of red and the grays. Spikes / arrows. I'm not sure if these things are supposed to launch or not. But like I said, I just think that's not for me. I don't like that weapon, so. But it's not. It's a pretty cool idea, I guess. Yeah. So. So I went ahead and replaced this hand from his spiked weapon, and I used the same one it came with. But you can also use this fist hand here if you like. So it gives you an option for that. There's a nice comparison of him and Man-at-Arms. Like I said, I just find it kind of unique that Mattel released these two, doing especially to the background of their responsibilities and their respective armies. That's pretty interesting. Not sure if I've heard anybody bring that up or not in any of the reviews I've seen of, or very early reviews of people that have gotten these like insanely early. But I think it's a great idea for Mattel if they can relate figures like that. I mean, if you really read the bios, you can have some fun with your figures. And if you're raising little collectors, you can, read those bios to them, and they can relate with the figures and grow up with the Master of the Universe that you want to teach them. Which version you want to teach them. But I think this is a fantastic find, basically. So how do you recommend Spikor and Man-at-Arms? I do have a video up for Man-at-Arms review if you want to check that out. That's pretty cool. Like I said, they're like retail value, this be an average $20 to $23. Any more than that, you're getting a scalp price. So check your Walmarts. I heard recently some people found them at Target. So if you want to check out, as of this video, there were some sales on the ones that are currently available, like He-Man, Skeletor. If you don't have those, they're like I see them cheap as 15 something, and you can see them for like 18. So that's a good deal for those. Well worth the price to pick them up. Even pick up a couple extras if you are into customizing your Masters of the Universe figures, or extending your universe with your own characters, which would be cool because you can remove most of the armor on these characters. Now, one of the things I did notice going through on a lot of the non-beastie characters, I guess they're using a lot of the same buck. If you can, for example, look at those arms. Those are exactly the same arms, but just in a different tone of plastic, and like for the arm, and then a wristband and the hand obviously are the same here. And then you can see here, even though that Man-at-Arms has his boots painted, those are the same boots. He has some green straps. So basically, they definitely did their engineering due diligence by creating a buck, and then using that same buck over and over, because the manufacturing process is, the engineering and the molds are the most expensive part of manufacturing figures. So now they have the buck pretty much. You can see the loincloth and the belts are the same, just painted. So basically they create, the accessories, the armor, and the head sculpt, obviously, on most of the male characters. And it wouldn't surprise me that, even though I did pass on the Wave 2 Tila because it's not for me, I'm looking forward to the next version of Tila coming out. It's the classic version, because I do enjoy the classic aesthetics and designs. So I kind of stay more traditional for me on my Master of the Universe guys. So So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. If you like this figure, if you're collecting these, you have any questions, comments, what you plan on doing with your Masters Universe, Masterverse figures as they continue to grow. I think these are going to be very desirable as they get going, within the next, I'll say, year or so. Some of the first waves are probably going to be really expensive after you can't buy them at retail. So, if you're on the fence about trying to get in on this line, I wouldn't wait too long. We are now pushing up to wave 3, which I think is Fisto, Skeletor, Andra, and Spikor. And there is a pre-order for wave 4. And I think the only 2 that's been revealed is a Barbarian He-Man and it's something Skeletor, another Skeletor figure. Then the other 2 hasn't been released yet. So we're going to see a couple different versions instead of getting new characters, which is, I kind of don't really like that. I'd rather have new characters than another He-Man or another Skeletor. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It really helps us out a lot. I really appreciate that very much. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, please like and share the video. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching.